Hey guys, I'm Tim from over at Connect.com. What we try to do is we try to provide answers to folks that need them, right? So today we're going to work on a server. Typically what you would have is you'd have people who need a stronger workstation, and sometimes they'll buy a server. The only problem is that servers have lots of fans. This one here is the Dell T710. It actually has 4 fans, and they're pretty loud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to swap those fans out for ones that run a lot quieter. And to do that, to test it out, what we're going to do is we're going to measure how loud they are now. Then I'll swap the fans out, which require require some elbow grease because we have to solder wires due to the proprietary connection that Dell servers had. So what we'll do is we'll use my my Samsung Note 2. What I've done is I've downloaded a decibel reader. It's a simple app. I think it's called Sound Meter. So Sound Meter looks like that. You can tell as I'm talking, I'm using this a low tone of voice because my kids are asleep. But I want to get this video done. So let's see how loud this server is. So I've placed the tripod here. I actually placed it down, Sound Meter down by the server. It's running about 60, 70, 68, 70. So what I will tell you is that these fans will kick up when the load increases on the server. Alright, but for now, we are working with 70 decibels, and we're trying to lower that. Hopefully we can get it down to about 45, 50. Alright, stay tuned. Okay, so now we're down in my basement, and what we want to do, we want to actually change these loud 70 decibel Dell fans out for these F9. They make a decent fan. What I'll do is try to quickly do this in a couple minutes. We're going to swap the fans out. We're also going to swap the fans out of the case, but we're also going to solder the wire. Let's get this out of the way, clean up a little bit. What I have here is a couple tools. I have some wire nippers, actual lighter. We actually have wire strippers, soldering station over here to your right. What we also have is a lot of shrink wrap to shrink the wires that we're going to solder together. And I think that's really all we need. So we'll start by taking this fan out and comparing the two. If I can get this thing out, you just got to wiggle it and wiggle it and wiggle it until you get it out. There's a couple pieces that actually holds it in. Come on. Okay, sorry about that. We got a couple things, sort of like an L hook and a couple screwdrivers. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing out. Try to pry it open with both of my fingers, like so, and grab that puppy. See? Now this relationship can go places. Yay! Success! What we also want to do is we don't want to damage this Dell proprietary clip here, so try to open this clip up, pull this sucker out of there. Sweet, and there you have it. You have the case, have the fan. Now let's compare the two. Both 92 millimeters in size, but the Dell fan is a whole lot thicker. Doesn't mean it works any better, it's just a lot thicker. This fan uses 0.16 amps, Dell uses 2.5. Not bad. So let's get to cutting here. So what we have is a bunch of wires. And this is probably the most nerve-wracking part, is you have to figure out which wires you want to cut. And I say leave yourself a lot, not a lot, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, and snip. Once you cut it, you can't go back, so I probably should have cut a little bit more off of there. I'll do that on my next fan. We'll unravel these real quick, and we'll take our trusty wire snippers, our wire strippers rather, not nippers, and strip these wires. Oh, I need a little bit more than that. Okay. I wouldn't try to do this with your teeth. You see people doing it with their teeth. See people doing it with all sorts of different pliers, and next thing you know, you've cut all the way through, and you only got so much space to deal with, so you want to do it right the first time. So let me slow down here. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Let me get some of that red off of there. I need a little bit more from this red piece. There we go, like so. Good news is, the F9 that we have from Arctic, same color codes. It's beautiful. Awesome. Let's see, what I'll do is I'll leave myself a little bit more room on the Arctic side. We'll eventually twist it like so when we actually put it back into the container here. Snip, once you cut it, you can't go back. Done. Clean out work area. Don't need this, don't need this, this. Okay, and we definitely don't need this anymore. Alright. Same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to strip our wires. Then we'll put some of this heat sink, or this what is this stuff called? You know what I mean. Mine's going blank. Okay, same deal here. We'll strip each one. Give ourselves a good amount of wire to be able to twist and then solder. I do not have a solder clamper, you know, like an electronics station with the 2 clamps, so I'm just going to be doing it by hand. We'll get her done though, either way. Might be a little slower, not as pretty or neat. So we have our strip wires on both sides in our Dell proprietary connector. What we'll do is we'll use some of this shrink wrap to cover up, and what you want to do is obviously you want to put the shrink wrap on first, twist them up, solder, pull the shrink wrap back over the exposed wire, and then we'll use a lighter to cool it down, or to heat it up, which will shrink the rubber. So here we are. We'll take our first one, stick it over the blue wire. If I'm going too fast, tell me to slow down and I will. Alright, what we're doing is we're just wrapping the wires within one another. You don't have to do this. You can just solder them straight together, but I like doing this because I'm an old car audio guy where we didn't have, you know, soldering stations back in the day. We had good old black tape. You don't want to use black tape here. Okay, and plus this will help me hold this in place while I actually solder everything up. Look at that. That's perfect, right? So we'll get our soldering station out, clean the tip with water and sponge, get our actual, and I don't have my safety goggles. Warrior safety goggles. what you have here, you can do it several ways. You can put the actual soldering iron under the wire, heat the wire up in hopes to get some of this solder to be on top. You don't need a lot, you just need a little bit. I'll move it closer to the camera so you can see how it actually ended up. Probably see, I don't know if you can see it or not. Camera probably had a little harder time focusing, but basically we just wanted to get some solder on the wires to fuse them together. Once we've done that, slide our trusty shrink wrap over. Couple pads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. Simple as that. And we are rolling, people. Let's get some more. For those of you that are wondering, yes, this is a Rogue, as in CrossFit, box. So not only do I do box jumps ad nauseum, I actually solder all sorts of things, stretch, I do all sorts of things on this box. Okay, get on there. Alright, let's go with red. Same deal. This is probably boring to you, and I apologize, but I'm going to run the full video just so you can see how easy this is, and how less, it's not a lot of time. I want a quieter server so I can run it in my office with my wife right next to me. Okay, next one. Let's get her done, folks. Not bad at all. Slide it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. Next one we'll go with the yellow. Oh, while I'm doing this, just so you know, if you have a Dell server, like I have the T710, you can have a 2690 or several others out there. What we have a problem with is these high capacity, lower RPM, because of the fan blade. How the fan moves air, it just moves it more efficiently, so it doesn't need to spin as much. With that said, you'll get all sorts of nasty errors from your server indicating that, hey, you have a fan that's either unplugged or broke or not actually spinning to where it should spin. So I need to figure out how to actually do that. So if anybody has any ideas on how to do that, let me know. Perfect. And last one is the black wire. Let's see. Alright, shrink wrap. Alright. Cover that bad boy up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. Perfect. Well, almost perfect. Close enough. Good enough. All right, so next thing we need to do is we need to put that back in here, and to do that, I had another one to make sure we did it right. Boom, that's how it goes. The first thing you want to make sure you do is you want to get the airflow right. That arrow is pointing up. We'll orient it the way the other one is, so I know I need to find the arrow that points this way, points up. There it is. You can't see it, but that arrow is pointing up. Typically, it'll more than likely be the same thing. You'll have all your details, and you'll form it like so. You probably won't see the fan blades open if the fan blades like this are not open. So, good rule of thumb. Just check anyway, just to be sure. What we're going to do is we're going to twist these wires up. What this does is it actually gets rid of a lot of the excess wire. So we're going to roll it, rotate it down, and slide it in. Remember, I told you these pieces hold this in place. We're just going to open it up, snap it down in place, make sure that, there you have it. So you snap down. Let's see, let me pull this back up a little bit. What I want to do is make sure this wire gets into the groove. Now, the wire's into the groove, and she is ready and snapped down. Next thing we want to do is we want to make sure the orientation of the plug is the right way. You can point it this way, or you can point it this way. If you look at our plug that we actually have, this groove is actually pointing up. So we want to ensure that that is, in fact, pointing up in the right direction. A couple more twists to make sure she's nice and tight, and we'll snap it into place. And there you have it. I don't know how long that took, a couple minutes or so, but there you have it. Done. Go pop it in. And we'll see. We'll do a test once I get all four in to see how quiet our server actually got. So, stay tuned. We're going to take a break here and solder up the rest of them, and then go back upstairs and fire this puppy up to see how quiet it is. Hey guys, this is Tim again. We're back upstairs, and we've just installed our new F9s, Arctic F9s, in our Dell trays. So, first observations, I have booted this up already. Yes, they're extremely quiet. Oh, unbelievable. I mean, this server is actually, well, with a couple stipulations, it's actually quieter than my Sony laptop. So these things, I love them. They spin, they'll get down to about 980 RPM. There's not much on this server, and it's not even working hard, so I can't give you a true barometer for how this thing is going to react once it's under heavy load. But right now, normal operations, it's quieter than a laptop. Now, I've since then had some problems with this. What it's going on is the PSU, it's cycling on and off every 5 seconds. And the PSU, it will spin up, I don't know, maybe 13,000 RPM, but it's extremely loud. I think the only reason why I didn't recognize the PSU was cycling on and off initially is because the case fans were so loud. Now the case fans are so quiet, I can hear everything. And the PSU, I think I measured it out. It's probably running around, once it kicks up, it's probably running around 58 to 60 decibels. Still too loud. What we want to do is we want to get it down to around 40 decibels if we can. And it's even quieter than that. Man, yeah, it's probably 35 to 40 with 4 fans, case fans running, and the PSU cycle down to normal RPM. So what we'll do is we'll slide this last one in. I just wanted to give you, to show you again how it looks before I stick it in. Okay, I'll put this cover back on here. What I'll do is I'll turn the machine on. I'll leave the camera here. I'll turn the machine on, and I'll tell you when it's on. And it's incredible. You're not even going to hear it. And then probably about 5 to 10 seconds after the machine turns on, then the PSU will go through its cycles. And I'll hold this phone up to show you the decibel readings once I get the machine on, and you'll see when the PSUs kick up. it'll go up to probably, again, around 60 decibels, but when it drops down, it's probably going to be around 40. I do have a sensor. We think it's either the board, the motherboard, or the sensor that's not reading the correct. It's something is wrong. Something is out of whack, because I'll run diagnostics on the machine. It'll tell me that fans 3 and 4 are inoperable and we've lost redundancy, and that's not really the case. It's not really the case. The problem is I didn't run the diagnostics before I changed the fan, so I can't tell you. I can assume that me changing to the Arctic F9s had no impact on the errors that I'm getting now when I run iDRAC Express. I'll tell you that, again, we think it's either the sensors or the motherboard's not reading things correctly, because once we disconnect the sensors and power the machine up, there's no change. It may throw an error that says, hey, we've lost redundancy when all 4 fans are spinning. It say, hey, the fans 1 and 2 are inoperable. It's really random and chaotic what I'm getting from iDRAC in terms of errors. So we truly think it's the sensor that's out of whack. We're just going to change it out, and that'll be on another video. But we'll change it out and see how that changes things. We're hopeful that that's actually the problem. So stand by. Let me go ahead and turn this thing on so we can get it done. Okay, it's on. I've already booted it up. It's going through a cycle process. I'm in the process of booting it up. It's going through a cycle process right now. Yeah, crazy. Can't even hear it. I'm going to pull up my decibel reader. There's the PSU. PSU is cycled down now. 29 decibels. It's going to cycle up again at some point. There we go. So the PSU reads around 61 decibels. It's going to cycle down again. That's the 5 seconds it's off. 27 decibels. So it's extremely quiet. Let me bring this camera closer so you can see how quiet this thing actually gets. And I'll rotate this camera down so you can see this. Can you see it? Sorry about that. So we see it's about 28, 27, 25 decibels when the PSU fan is not actually running. And who knows, man, I may actually change the PSU fan if we can't figure out why this thing is cycling on and off. Again, probably won't get the sensor till next week. When we put the sensor in, I'll shoot a video of that, and then you'll see the results once we change the sensor. But it's actually the LCD readout on the front. That's where the tech told me the sensors are located. So we'll see. Wish me luck. Stay tuned for the next video.